Setting up your meeting for Facebook Live. It says it's done, redirecting to Facebook Live page.
Awesome.
And there we are. Okay, good morning, parenting in a pandemic. Today I have Julie Davis with Child Care Resource and Referral. And can you tell us a little bit, Julie, about what Iowa Child Care Resource and Referral is to get us started today?
Yes, absolutely. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for having me. So Iowa Child Care Resource and Referral is a program to support child care providers and child care programs all across the state of Iowa. We serve 99 counties, so all of the counties in Iowa, we have services in. And really, CCR&R's goal is just to provide advocacy and education and resources to support quality childcare.
Awesome. And so we've connected before. I'm with COVID Recovery Iowa, which is a free peer-to-peer counseling program because of the pandemic. And we've connected before because we've talked about everybody has been impacted by the pandemic. Families, children, and also our child care providers. So we are here to support anyone, and we can talk about that a little bit more. But how is childcare being impacted by the pandemic? What are you seeing?
Yeah, well, the guidelines have really just changed the look of childcare, right? I mean, the different rules and regulations put forth by the Department of Human Services and the Iowa Department of Public Health really have just changed the way that routines look in childcare. Providers are striving, but also struggling to meet those ever-changing requirements and rules that always come out. So programs definitely have a lot more tasks that they do daily now in regards to safe handling of masks and wearing of masks, in addition to cleaning and disinfecting procedures. There's lower enrollment in a lot of programs. A lot of programs are doing drop off and pick up at the front door. So families aren't escorting their children to their classrooms as much anymore to prevent that exposure and extra people in the program. So really, I think that just those guidelines have really changed the way that childcare might look for you and your family right now.
And a change in routine and a change in job sounds to me like it might equal some stress.
Yes, absolutely. I know that there's a lot of uncertainty for providers right now, especially when it comes to letting new families into their programs. It causes some uncertainty when you have to let new families in, and then also uncertainty for the families on having your child in a new environment where they may be exposed to COVID-19. So there's definitely a lot of stress and uncertainty there.
Yeah. So we were talking earlier about what particularly your job description and what it is and what it was and how that's changed. And one of the things you said you used to do was go out and advocate for quality childcare with the business community. Can you tell me more about that? Because I thought that was so interesting.
Yes, absolutely. So we have some core services that we provide through CCR&R, and there are basically 4 areas. And so one of those is community development. So I am a community development specialist for CCR&R, and I work with one other staff member who also works in the community. And so really my job when I started about 1.5 years ago, and really my job when I started was to attend job fairs and different events with business leaders. And we were talking before this, Mandy, and you were like, well, how does business really impact childcare? And that's really just is providing the education and the advocacy for quality childcare. I would go out to visit business leaders, and they would say, oh, my employees are having trouble making it to work, or they're having trouble focusing at work, and we don't really know why. And we would help them set up a survey and kind of talk to their employees about what their issues were. And a lot of times, business leaders found out that those problems were childcare related. If parents don't have quality childcare options available that are also affordable to them, they're not able to make it to work. So a lot of that absenteeism and a lot of that productivity really does center around childcare and your employees. So really just helping business leaders see childcare as a workforce issue and not just a family issue. It really does affect the community and the workforce as a whole. So reminding everyone of that, I think, is really important.
Yeah, just as a parent, there's been a lot of stressful moments of just scrambling for childcare. So yeah, it can be a source of stress too.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we also have a few other services that I'll tell you about, just in case you're interested in those.
Yeah.
We provide consultation. So most of our staff are childcare consultants, and they work directly with the providers on things like professional development, policies and procedures, really anything that a childcare program might need. They can call their childcare consultant and get advice on any of that. Pre-COVID, we were doing a lot of visits with them, for health and safety reasons and things like that. Our work has changed a little bit virtually. So some of those virtual visits work a little bit better for certain topics than others. But really, our childcare consultants are really the experts in working with providers. So if you are a provider, if you have a provider, we encourage you to reach out to your local childcare consultant for that. And then we also offer a lot of different trainings. We have tons of variety of topics and various information that you can get through those trainings. A lot of it is to make those licensing and registration requirements that DHS puts forth, but we have a lot of additional trainings too for professional development, just for providers to really enhance their skills in working with children and families. So we offer those training opportunities. And then one of the biggest services I think we provide to families is the parent referral service. So we have parent referral specialists that work with families to help you find childcare that might meet your needs. So say a family, maybe the mom or dad works 30 minutes away and is interested in childcare in the town that they work in, and not necessarily in the town that they live in. We can help find a childcare provider that has openings on your route to work. Maybe your child has some sort of special needs or something. So working with the parent service specialists really can help you find a childcare provider that has openings that can help meet your needs. So you can go visit our website to get started with that, or there's a phone number. It's 855-CHILD-01. So those are some great services.
Anyone can call that, or is it for a specific group of people?
Nope, anyone can call that looking for childcare, and they can talk to the parent service specialist, let them know where they live, maybe what hours they need care for. And then the list that they pull, it's just a referral list, not necessarily recommendation, but all of those childcare providers on the list will have openings. They update their openings with us about every 3 months so that they can continue to be referable, so that when people call that parent referral line, they're not having to call all these different places that may have a wait list.
That's super helpful right now. Nobody needs to have extra work, right? So thank you for doing those extra steps for people during the pandemic. Yep. So if I was a parent and I had to move, or if I've had a job change because of the pandemic, then I can call you. If I'm not familiar with what my options are, we can call you and figure that out.
Absolutely. And even if you do, you've lived in your town for a long time and you know about a lot of the providers there, it'll save you a lot of time from calling all of those people to see if there's a wait list or if they're open or their hours, when really, if you just call the parent referral line, we can help put all of that in one place for you.
That is great. That's awesome. Okay, I have, what do you think parents need to know right now? Or maybe another question I have for you is, what do families and childcare providers, what do you think they need right now during the pandemic?
Absolutely. Let's start with the parent piece. So what do parents need to know about childcare right now? I think one of the most important things to remind parents and families is that providers are truly doing the best they can to keep children and families safe. So a lot of providers truly, truly do want to remain open in order to provide that consistent care for families. We know that young children really strive when they have that routine and when they have that normalcy in their lives. So many many providers really do want to stay open to help to continue to provide that quality care. So any policies that your child care provider might be enacting are really just to help ensure that they are able to stay open and that there aren't those extra exposures within their program. So if programs are closing, it's really just to keep you safe, and they're really just following those health and safety guidelines put forth by DHS and the Iowa Department of Public Health. Sometimes providers may ask you to pay at least the partial rate in case your child has to be out of childcare. And we know that is stressful for families, but also that is the provider's income. So we really encourage that if families are able to pay for that partial spot, if they're not able to have that care, we encourage them to do that if they're able, also to just retain financial stability within the program as well. And then also just encouraging families to consider how their decision-making outside of the program may impact everyone in the program. So providers are really counting on families to do the right thing, to wear their mask, to social distance, and to think about some of the things they're doing outside of the program, because that really could put a lot of the families in the program at risk. So a lot of uncertainty there, but yeah, for parents to know that providers really are truly doing the best that they can, and trying to keep your family safe and healthy.
Yeah, very good. That's very good. So I would say that the need would be some understanding and safety precautions, because it's not just your own family's health and wellness. It could impact your child care provider and the other families as well.
Yes, absolutely. So going more into what families and child care providers might need right now, education, like you said, I think is a big one. There's a lot of good information out there that parents and families can look for related to COVID-19, and then also just the impact that's having in child care. And so you can find a lot of those resources on our website at iowaccrr.org. And right there on the main page, there are a lot of COVID resources, a lot of really good information there. So go ahead and check that out too. So some education on where you can find some of that information, I think is really great for families. Also, the extension and expansion of the Families First Act that was put forth at the beginning of the pandemic, that really just helped enacted the paid leave for a lot of families who are working and are affected by COVID-19. So the more families that had that paid leave, then the more families are able to pay their child care provider when their child is out. So again, just really ensuring that financial stability for programs. And one of the biggest things that I was thinking about in regards to this question, in what do family and child care providers need? Even though childcare looks really different right now, it does not mean that we can't have quality care. So we really encourage families to show providers grace and understanding as they put their lives at risk to take care of your children. And then also for providers and children to focus on self-care. If providers aren't able to keep their minds and bodies healthy, they won't be able to provide that quality care. So I know we talked a little bit, Mandy, about the importance of mental health and self-care, especially during this time. So really just being kind, encouraging one another, reaching out to your support system. It's kind of all what we need right now. And remembering that it's definitely okay to ask for help and there are people in your corner.
Yeah, it makes me think of, we share resources with you too that I know you should put out there. And one of them is, well, this week on our Tell Me a Story on a Facebook group we have with COVID Recovery Iowa, we had essential workers and we had a child care provider read one of our stories on there, because they are essential workers and we are very thankful for them. And then we also have some books on YouTube that your providers or families might find useful, that are pandemic related and just can help educate everyone, can help spark conversations about the pandemic. It can help little ones to be able to ask questions or voice concerns if they have any. And and just build that relationship and keep that connection going and help with that understanding and support for everyone. And yes, and anyone can call us, our hotline 1-800-447-1985 for that peer-to-peer support. If you are in need of some mental health support, we are a good resource. We also have a parent support group that goes on tonight from 5 to 6, and I'll put that link in our comment box after. And that makes me think Julie was going to put a link to something in our comments too, so you can look for that. Go ahead and tell them about what you were going to share there.
Yeah, absolutely. We were talking a little bit about that business aspect before and how I work with business leaders. So we have some really good stories on our webpage of different communities that have come up with childcare solutions. So there was a business in Southern Iowa, I believe it's called Lee Container. They make plastic containers. And they actually partnered with a childcare center in their community in order to increase the spaces. So the business actually provided the funding in order to grow the child care center. And then in return, the center saves some of those child care spots for the employees at that business. So the employees are really helped out by that because they don't have to find childcare. They can bring their child right to work. They get some compensation at that cost of childcare. And then also the community really thrived from that because they needed more spots. That center really needed to grow, and they take other community members. So I was telling Mandy that it really, childcare is not necessarily a money-making business, but it's definitely good for the community and to address those community issues. And then it all comes back to your workforce and how well your community is doing economically, really. So it's just such a cool story to see how a business leader came together with a childcare provider to kind of address those needs in the community.
I just feel like that's really thinking outside of the box from a lot of people or my day-to-day thinking. So I appreciate that awareness. So one last question I have written down here is, what's one thing we can do today to improve the life of our families, our childcare providers? You got some good words of wisdom, Julie?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one thing I definitely think we need right now is increased acknowledgement from both the federal and the local level at how valuable childcare has been during the pandemic. It's given the ability for parents to go to work, but then also if you think about the education and learning stability for young children, childcare is really children's normal place to go in that routine. And so increased acknowledgement, I think, from the government around childcare providers would be really helpful to kind of boost them up and to recognize them as essential workers. And then something that you and I could do today to really help childcare in regards to the pandemic is to do the same thing, to recognize your providers, to advocate for your providers. You know, when you're out in the community, talk about the importance of quality childcare and what quality childcare looks like. We have a lot of resources on our website. I could get some things to you too, Mandy, about what quality childcare really looks like. And you could just be an advocate for your provider. If you're out at Target or Walmart and you see cleaning supplies, pick some up for a provider that you know. Give someone a gift basket. A lot of times, I was thinking about this question, and I'm thinking just in regards to everyone and COVID right now. You know, call in and call to the people you know and check in with them and ask them how they're doing. Back to that mental health. Show that you're there for them and that you're really a support system and that we're all in this together. Sharing resources and ideas. Just help making someone's day brighter. So really just being an advocate and recognizing providers in the community for what they do, I think really goes a long way.
That's awesome. I love the idea of cleaning supplies as a Christmas gift.
Yeah.
Cool. A gift basket of cleaning supplies. That's good stuff.
Absolutely.
Well, did I miss any of our questions? How did we do? Did we cover everything that you wanted to cover? I'm thankful for
that. Yeah, I think we did. Just to reiterate, you know, finding childcare in a pandemic can be really hard. So utilize our parent referral services. And also many programs are limiting capacity right now due to just those regulations of keeping people safe. So really look for care early if you're looking for care, if you're planning on moving, starting a family soon, look for that care early. And once you find it, try to hold on to it, especially in the pandemic. Things are ever are changing right now. So make sure that you get out there and you look for that quality childcare. And you can always reach out to me. Anyone can reach out to me. Parents, community members, anything. If you have any questions, if I can't answer your question, I will find someone who can. And like I said, we have tons of resources on quality childcare and community solutions and lots of things that way. And one really positive thing that we have seen out of this pandemic that I just want to touch on is that we've seen a lot more parents staying home with their own children. And so it's made a lot of parents think about taking care of other children. So we've gotten a lot of increased applications for child development homes, which will then increase the spots that are available for children in each community. One of our child care consultants got 7 new applications in 1 week during the pandemic. So, I mean, and it is a process to get through that registration. So hopefully everyone will be able to follow through with that. But just the increased awareness in the need for child care has really come out during the pandemic.
But the process is important, right, Julie? Even if it takes a while, it ensures that quality that we were talking about and the quality that we want, right?
Yes, absolutely. And like I said, a lot of parents are staying home right now anyway and have their own kids. And if you take on a couple more, you can have some extra income, and then you can feel good about serving your community and increasing those quality spots.
Awesome. Love it. Well, if anybody has any questions or comments for Julie or myself, you can put it down below. I'm going to take a look here and make sure there's nothing to be addressed. I don't see anything, but if you have a question, feel free to put it in there. Julie's going to put some info in there, and I'll put a link to the parent support group for tonight. Otherwise, thank you. Take care. Give us a call if you need us. Either one of us, we're happy to help.
Yep, always.
Thanks for joining us, Julie.
Thank you.
Bye.